Hi, I'm Jody Fassina, Managing Director of Insight Strategy. Today I'd like to talk to you about the House of Representatives inquiry being conducted by the Health, Aged Care and Sports Committee, looking into the issue of approval process both for pharmaceuticals and novel medical devices. No doubt some of you are in the midst of putting a submission together or giving consideration to putting a submission into that committee. I want to share with you today what I consider to be my 5 top tips for making sure your submission is well received. My first tip is keep it simple. Remember, most of the committee members, if not all, are not subject matter experts like you are when it comes to the approval processes that apply to having a drug listed on the PBS or getting a medical device made available to the public. So my first tip is keep your submission simple. Secondly, avoid jargon. Both the pharmaceutical industry and the medical device industry is full of jargon and acronyms. While well known to you, they will not be well known to the committee members. If you need to use them, feel free just to spell them out and in simple terms explain what they mean. My third tip is identify a solution. MPs and committees get bombarded with problems every day, and that's fair enough, that's part of their job. But they also only have a limited amount of time to respond to those problems. And those problems where they are most likely to spend some time are those where there is a workable solution which they feel they can make happen. So by all means, identify problems that you see in the system, but also where you can identify a workable solution. My fourth tip is have a call to action. Ultimately, the committee will be making recommendations based upon the evidence it will hear in public hearings. Your call to action could be as simple as calling on the committee or calling on the Parliament to take a particular course of action. Also, if your call to action, be it a recommendation itself that the committee do something, makes it into the committee's own report, then that is incredibly powerful, because ultimately the government of the day have to respond to the committee's recommendations. And if one of those recommendations is yours, that's a very strong position to be in. Last but not least, have a well-crafted executive summary. I know this sounds simple and obvious, but you'd be surprised how many submissions don't have an executive summary. It's important because, quite simply, whether your submission is 10 pages long or 100 pages long, committee members just do not have the time to read all of them from page 1 to page 10 or page 1 to page 100. They will, though, read the executive summary. So ensure in that well-crafted executive summary that you encapsulate what your key points are, what solution might be to a problem, and what your call to action is. Thanks for listening, and I hope you found my tips useful. Making a submission is about having that constant conversation with Canberra, which is always important. And hopefully your submission will be the one that makes a difference to your industry or your business in terms of reform when it comes to approval processes. If I can be of any help, or if you have any questions, please contact me.